You take a rather unconventional approach to helping families, but a lot of your referrals come from family courts, correct?
Correct.
I would think they might not be up for doing something so radical, but they are. So why?
The courts can tell that the courtroom is no place to fix their problems.
Yeah.
Because going through a divorce is hard, separating is hard, sharing children is difficult, and it really takes a fine approach.
I'm tempted to say you help families, but little birdie has told me you don't love the word help.
I don't love the word help.
Why?
I do help families. It's just that the word help
Yeah.
implies that they're helpless. And they are anything but helpless. And they love working with me because they love finding out that they're not helpless, that they're actually very resourceful. What I tell them most of the time is they just have some really bad habits.
Takes a long time to create those habits, not that easy to break them.
Exactly.
And yet you do break them.
I do.
How?
Actually, the families do. So I provide the space for them, and the families come up with great action plans that they can implement in their family once they really understand the dynamic that's happening. So my job is to make very careful observations, to really name what's happening, check in with the family a lot, and give them a very non-judgmental space.
And sometimes the space that you're in is their space, as in that suitcase next to you.
I do have a suitcase right here next to me.
So I'm tempted to say you not only move in metaphorically, emotionally, etc., you move in literally.
I do. So what happens when families go to therapy? A lot of times they get great therapy, but in 55 minutes in a therapist's office,
Yep.
a lot of times you really can't get the whole picture.
Yeah. And you can also fool your therapist, by the way.
Well, that happens. Matter of fact, I have a family where they both had good therapists, but both the therapists were pretty well convinced that the problem was to be blamed on the other parent.
And did you show up on their doorstep?
And that was a family where I ended up going up to where they lived and stayed for 2 days.
Wow.
And we had all our meals together, and I got to see the entire family dynamic play out right before my eyes. And very quickly, I could see that this high-level executive mom was criticizing and correcting a very loud stay-at-home dad. And those were the two things that had to stop. We
And
had
the
to-
son was being obnoxious to both and literally
Oh, my.
separating them in bed, if I recall.
The son was very rude. He was very disrespectful. He even told them they were crazy and laughed at them when they tried to discipline him. And yes, he could even split them, so he ended up in the bed that they were supposed to be sleeping in.
And yet the ones that you really changed were the parents. right?
Exactly. Exactly. The child fell right in line as soon as he wasn't calling the shots in the family anymore. And these two parents had two very different perspectives on the family. They came together to create one solution that took the child out of the middle. And that's the key, is getting the children to think about things that children should think about and getting the parents to take care of their own needs separately so that the children see that the parents are on the same page.
And if it requires a radical intervention, as in the
I'm
suitcase,
there.
It does. You call yourself a real-time coach. What do you mean by that?
I am a real-time coach. It's the name of my first book. And it means that real-time parenting is that we're working with habits in the moment, in real time, because all the theories are wonderful, but what happens moment to moment is what really counts to create new habits and to create a new dynamic in the family where the parents are really reaching their goals that they set out to reach.
And real time means something else too,
It
doesn't
does. It does. It means that the conversations are real, and many of these families are having new conversations that are real for the first time.
Bless you and what you're doing. Hey, a move in, kind of a healing
Real-time
home
coach.
invasion.
Exactly.